Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Hello and welcome to North 100 Showdown, a Canadian Highlander throwdown. My name is Wheeler. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. But I'm not alone. I'm of course joined by Ben on tech.
Hi.
How you doing, Ben?
I'm really good. How are you doing?
Not so bad, not so bad. I'm liking the weather. You know, my allergies are kind of acting up a bit.
Yeah,
but...
spring be like that.
Yeah, but it's like a great transitional kind of transitional heat. Transitional. Listen to me.
Yeah. Oh, and I mean, we have another person that we have to say hi to.
That's right. James is also in the office somewhere.
Yeah, he's hanging out somewhere in the background. I think we've got a Nelly hanging out.
Nelly's somewhere
for future
here.
recordings.
Yeah.
And
I'm here too!
Who said that?
oh, Serge!
Oh, Serge, buddy.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Oh, it feels good to feel good. And if you want to feel good and hit that serotonin button, it's down in the description. It's patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. It certainly helps us feel good because it helps us do basically everything that we do around here. And
Like disrespect me.
yes, paying us lets us disrespect Serge, and then he at least gets to look at a check and go, well, it's not so bad. Yeah. But also, if you want more information on what we're playing or the format, you can check down in the doobly-doo down below. Welder damn near brought it to this event. This isn't an event. This is a recording. I'm playing Grixis Welder.
What is this deck? Because this is new, right? Like, this isn't an old archetype.
It is my baby. It is a Wheeler creation. Artifact control / mid-range. Triple Moxin plus Tolarian Academy. Doubles as my point spread and describing what I'm trying to do. It's a deck that is basically looking to win the board over... God, I could sit here for hours and hours just using Goblin Welders, generating tokens off Psymaster Thopterist, making a giant Kappa Cannoneer.
Yeah, because it's not eggs, and it's not an academy deck. You are trying to kill your opponent through turning creatures sideways, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can take my time. I can build up, I can do the attrition war. It's genuinely my favorite deck in the format.
I have been wanting to brew something similar for a very long time, and I think we've been kind of close
Yeah.
with ideas. I mean, I brought one of my babies too. I'm playing Enchantress today. Mm-hmm. Now, this is an archetype that I have brewed in a bunch of different ways over years and years and years and years and years. Mm-hmm. And actually, the list I'm playing today is 97 out of 100 cards that Wheeler provided.
I'm not gonna, we were mean to you in the intro.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that I'm the premier Enchantress pilot. I am, but I don't want to say it. And I will say that as someone that has also played Enchantress, I mean, we played Enchantress together, not as two-headed giant, but we've played it, we've both been playing this deck in the format for like, God.
Decade
And a
Easy.
half.
Yeah. So this is a green-white version, and it's really lean now. So you used to do weird stuff like play blue to try and loop enchantments and discard them, set up big replenishes. You used to try and cheat out Omniscience. We've tried Oath of Druids versions. We've tried combo versions. And this, it's low to the ground. It's lean. It's mean. Its points are Mox, Strip Mine, and Crop Rotation, which is pretty clean. And it feels like its primary win condition is Lockout, and then maybe killing you with an Infinite Scrolls.
Yeah. It's killing. It's the kind of deck where we're not playing Sigil of the Empty Throne anymore.
No more Angels.
Because that's too dedicated to killing people. Once this kind of deck gets going, you just kill them with whatever you have. Destiny Spinner's another good one. That one is in German. If you're not familiar with that one, it's 2 mana, 2/3.
Yeah.
Enchantments and creatures you control can't be countered. It's an enchantment creature itself. And then you pay 4 to animate a land, give it trample and haste with power toughness equal number of enchantments you control. So that's like
Room.
Yeah, it's so clean. It's so clean.
You ready to rumble?
Yes, let's.
Now, who won the die?
I did.
All right.
Got an interesting start here, Serge.
That's bad.
For me.
Oh.
Blackcleave Cliffs and pass.
Oh.
Yeah, weird.
Reminds me of that time Ben roasted me because I was like, this is the hardest turn I've ever had. Island go. And Ben just started cracking up off camera. All right. I also have a weird start.
Okay.
And I'm going to start with a Mox Emerald into Oath of Nissa. It's been a while since I cast this. When Oath of Nissa enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature, land, or planeswalker from among them. Put 1 into your hand, and then put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order.
Ooh. Fancy.
Sithis. It's a good hit. That's a hit.
Yeah. No land pass?
I got the land.
Okay.
Sun Petal Grove tapped.
Okay.
That's why I said it was weird. Anyways, go ahead.
Man's got the land. I too have a land.
Okay.
Basic island. I'm going to cast Third Path Iconoclast. Whenever I cast a non-creature spell, I make artifact creature tokens. This card exists. I'm going to cast Mishra's Bauble.
Begins.
Trigger.
And they're all artifacts, eh?
They're all artifacts.
All artifacts.
They're all soldiers.
Yep.
I'm trying to think if I want to bauble you now or later. I'm going to bauble you now.
All right, so
top card of your library,
I
please.
just reveal it?
To me only.
Do you want me to show the camera or no?
Sure. Verduran Enchantress.
Oh.
You're also not showing the camera.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry. I was holding it up to the cross shot. There's a, you mean the overhead camera, eh?
Yeah. All right. I'm going to pass, and then I'm going to draw on your upkeep.
Okay. Verduran Enchantress, eh? Strip Mine.
Uh-huh.
Tap Strip Mine for an expedition map.
Okay.
So I have 2 lines. Line number 1 is I get the Enchantress out, I give you a turn, and you start to pop off. But then maybe I get to pop off. And line number 2, which is the one I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to Journey to Nowhere, your Iconoclast.
No.
Because I think that's a little scary, and I think I want to get started on that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's all right. Grixis is a color combination infamous for their ability to deal with enchantments.
It's true. It's true, though.
Okay, this is going to be a weird one. Let's start with an Urza's Saga.
It's a good one.
I'm going to attack you for 1.
I go to 19.
I'm then going to play Crucible of Worlds.
That's a good one.
I'm going to pass the turn.
It's a good one. It's a good turn. Now my Strip Mine looks bad.
That's the idea.
Green White Enchantress, a deck well known for being able to deal with crucibles. That's a very funny draw. Let me do some math here.
Uh-oh.
So if I crack this and get a Serra Sanctum, I play a Serra Sanctum, it taps for 2, I have access to 3 mana. I would have 2 white and 1 green. Doesn't do a lot for me this turn, but it does seem good. I don't think there's any universe in which I don't want to get Serra Sanctum out as quickly as possible. So I do that. All right, I'm going to tap Strip Mine and Mox Opal. I'm going to crack the Expedition map.
Yep.
It's going to go get us a Serra Sanctum.
This guy said Mox Opal. It's like a Freudian slip. Oops. He wants to play artifacts. Concede to me now. I get it. I do that all the time. If I played a weekly with a deck with, like, I don't know, I just bring some mid-range shell and I fight someone playing artifacts, I just can't help but think, like, Christ, that could be me.
Anytime I see anybody turning sideways at artifact creatures, I'm just like, oh God. Why am I on this deck?
Yeah.
Any interest in cutting?
No.
All right. Serra Sanctum currently taps for 2. Green and white. I'm going to cast the Sithis. It's a 1/2. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain a life and draw a card. I'm going to pass.
This goes to 2.
Yeah.
Gonna play a Great Furnace.
How is it?
It's pretty good.
Okay.
I'm going to tap 4. Just kidding. 6. Kappa Cannoneer. Trigger. So this is a 6-mana 4/4 Turtle Warrior artifact creature with Improvise and Ward 4. Don't know why. And whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you put a 1/1 counter on it, and it can't be blocked this turn. And funny enough, it triggers off of itself. Go ahead, Serge. You have 1 turn to live.
It's a good turn, though.
Yeah.
I'm in an okay spot right now.
Yeah, you're doing great.
That's not what we wanted. Let's start. I have 1 turn to live? You think you can 19 me next turn?
I don't know, maybe. Depends on how I'm feeling.
So I have 2 options here. I have another Enchantress in hand. So I can spend my limited resources to buy potentially 2 cards. Or I can just start cantripping off this and give myself more mana for what I neverly draw that's hopefully an answer.
Yeah.
And I think because of the pressure you're displaying, I don't have the time to set up a second Enchantress here, which is a little frustrating.
Are you realistically going to be able to deal with this, though? Because, like, so much, you have Path and Swords.
Yep.
But so much of your removal is enchantment-based, which Kappa kind of laughs at.
I got Moat, baby.
Oh.
I got Moat.
Yeah, you could go for Moat. You could dig for
Right?
Moat.
Yeah, dig for Moat. I mean, I don't think I'm dead. I don't think I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm joshing for the sake of camera.
Yeah. I'm at 19.
It would be funny if I killed you, though. I mean,
Oh,
you gotta
okay.
admit.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha, I died.
Man. I think I have 1 more turn.
Yeah.
I think I have 1 more turn. I'm going to get a little greedy here. God, but that involves I have to tap my Serra Sanctum. That prevents my pop-off ability. It's fine. It's fine. All right. 3 mana.
Okay.
Setessan Champion.
Yep. Another
Right?
one.
Yep. Sun Petal Grove. I'm going to cast Fast Bond.
Okay.
So I have a cast trigger. I go to 20. I draw a card. Whenever another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card. Those are 2 very good draws. Those are 2 very good draws. First land for the turn is going to be a Flooded Strand. Cast a Zern Orb.
Yep.
I have access to 2 mana. We're going to crack the Flooded Strand, go down to 19. And I'm going to go find a Savannah. Would you like to cut?
No.
2 mana. Ground Seal. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities. Now, notably, playing a land off Crucible gets around this. So I have a cast trigger and Sithis, so I gain a life, I draw a card. When it enters the battlefield, I draw a card and I put a +1/+1 counter onto it. And then when Ground Seal enters the battlefield, I draw a card.
Yeah.
We're doing it. We are popping off.
He's popping off.
Thinking. Trying to figure out where the best place to leave my enchantments that don't necessarily do nothing, but you know what I mean.
It's going to be a messy board.
It's going to be a very messy board.
Yeah.
I'm going to play my second land for the turn off of Fast Bond. Go to 19. I'm going to pass there.
Draw step. That changes everything.
This is in response to the Urza Saga.
Well, this
trigger?
isn't my. I'm still in my draw
Okay,
step here.
yeah.
I am going to. Jesus.
I'm in a pretty good spot too, so we'll see how things go here, you know?
I'll go to main and I'll
Okay.
add a mana and then do this. So I'm floating 1 colorless mana. And
Okay.
I'm finding an artifact and putting it into play.
Okay.
Costs 1 or 0. This is kind of awkward. You have how many cards in hand?
I'm currently sitting on 4 cards in hand. With a Fast Bond, a Ground Seal, an Oath of Nissa in play, and a Zurin Orb.
God damn it. Why did I pick such a hard deck to play so
I feel
early
the
in the
same
morning?
way, right? I'm just sitting here being like, this is so much math to do right now.
So I have a lot of different things I can do.
Yeah.
It's whether or not I should do those.
I mean, the artifact deck gets to tutor for any 1 or 0 drop. Yeah, you're like, well, this is only half of my deck, right?
So I can do that. I can hit that. Is that the best? I think I'm getting Pyrite Spellbomb. Trigger.
Really want to kill Sithis, eh?
Well, I want to kill everything. I want to kill both of your creatures.
All right.
I could go for Aether Spellbomb instead. Is that better? Is that more guaranteed? It still has the same restrictions. No, it doesn't. Just resets that. And you
So this spell bomb deals 2 damage, and the other spell bomb
Haha,
bounces my creature.
Just kidding.
No, take your time. Take your time.
I'm going
yeah.
to find Aether Spellbomb, which
Yeah.
will let me bounce. So I have, spoiler alert, because it's going to target Sithis, I have an Unholy Heat in my hand.
Okay.
And thankfully, Urza Saga, for whatever reason, is an enchantment land, which means that if I somehow get another card type into my graveyard, I can hit Delirium.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, I have to cast a card in my hand that I don't exactly want to cast right now, even if it would let me unlock Delirium so that I can Pyrite Spellbomb this and Unholy Heat this.
Unholy Heat is 6 damage?
6 damage.
Yeah, and this is currently 5 power.
And it's a little tight in doing so. So instead of just like putting myself in a spot where I have to sequence poorly to force the issue, I can take it, as I said, slightly slower. You want to cut.
You're fine.
So I have this 1 generic floating.
Yeah.
Or 1 colorless, I guess. I am going to use that colorless to cast Sensei's Divining Top. Trigger.
Yeah.
I'm going to Unholy Heat your Sithis.
Is it exiled or just dead?
Just dead.
Yep.
I am going to bounce your Setessan Champion. I'm going to replay Urza Saga as my land for the turn from graveyard.
Yep.
Off of Crucible Worlds.
Yep.
I am going to go to combat and I'll hit you for 8.
I go down to 11.
Go ahead.
Still on step, I'm going to crack the Catacombs and get a Ravduel. The old greeny whitey into play tapped.
I could have also hit your Serra Sanctum, maybe. I could Expedition Map for Wasteland. And I could hit your mana, but then you have Fast Bond and an Enchantress, and you can play an additional Enchantress. And your deck that is also geared to get back your Serra Sanctum, although you have Ground Seal in
Would you
play.
like to cut?
Jesus.
So, I think I win.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Green Sun Zenith for 3.
Okay.
So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 enchantments. So X is equal to 3. I've got 1 floating. I'm going to get Ramanap Excavator. And then with Fast Bond and Zuranorb, I can make infinite life. I can make infinite mana, and I can strip mine all of your lands out. And then I don't win there, because you do have a board, but I have infinite life.
I will spin top in response to your first activation of strip.
Yeah, hold on. All right, if you're gonna respond, let's do this all properly.
Yeah.
Would you like to cut?
No, you're fine.
All right, I'm going to strip mine your untapped red-black source.
I'm going to spin my top.
Yes.
I will concede.
Okay.
Mockstraw, huh? Punk.
The Mockstraw, obviously it was good, but into the tapped land, it wasn't like as explosive of a start, but it was still quite good. It was still, I mean, obviously any mock start is a good start.
Yeah, I don't know how much the Mockstraw actually, how many issues it caused. It's the Setessan Champion made my sequencing a little awkward, and then having to I just had to deal with too many things at the same time.
Yes.
Which is what I think this build does quite well.
The redundancy of Enchantresses now, because when I was playing this, you had 4 Enchantresses.
Yeah.
Both of the bad 3-mana 0/2s, Argothian Enchantress, our girl, and Enchantress is present. That was it. That's all you had.
Now we have, I think we're up 5 more Enchantresses, which is wild.
Like, Setessan and Sithis are game changers.
They're really
They're
good.
both
Yeah.
so good.
And then just like Eidolon of Blossoms
Yep.
and Satyr Enchanter, they provide some redundancy. There's probably another one I'm forgetting. I always forget one of them, but maybe it's just an additional 4. Maybe they only just doubled the amount of Enchantresses.
Yeah. I think that turn I had of, do I try and just cantrip a whole bunch right now, or do I establish my board and go double Enchantress? I think I made the right call there. When I drew 5 cards that turn.
You need to win the game, or you need to have Enchantresses in play to win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. That guy.
Now who has the Mockstraw? I mean, I'll keep.
I, too, will keep. Yeah. Good luck, friend.
Good luck. Crap. I mean,
That's how I was feeling too. These decks are so weird.
Yeah, they're not the easiest to pilot. I mean, I might just use this Mockstraw to play a tapped land. Or I could just play this. What do you do in this matchup? What does this card do in this matchup? Not enough right now. I'm going to play a Mist Vault Bridge. I'm going to play my Totally Real Mock Sapphire. And I'm going to cast my Totally Real Expedition map. Go ahead.
So I didn't have the mock start, but I did have the fast bond start.
Okay.
Second land for the turn, Forest. I go to 19. And then I'm going to tap Forest, and I'm going to cast Utopia Sprawl.
Yep.
Naming white.
Okay.
And I'll say go.
Is that even worth it? Yeah, let's put the fear of God in you. I'm going to play an Arid Mesa and fetch.
Yeah.
Going down to 19. I'm going to find myself a volcanic island, and I'm going to cast Goblin Engineer. I can tutor for an artifact card and put it into my graveyard, and then I can pay a red, tap sack an artifact to bring back an artifact that has mana value 3 or less from my graveyard to play.
That's the part that has the restriction. I was like, I thought it was only 3 or less, but you can entomb any artifact.
You can entomb anything.
That's kind of
It's
sweet.
just you can only sneak out
Yeah.
something that's a little smaller.
And this is sort of the little brother of the card the deck is named after, right?
Yeah.
Do we call this Baby Welder? What do we call this?
I gotta tell you, I call it Goblin Engineer.
I mean, that's fair.
This one's kind of goofy in this list. The card that I most find is Brea's Apprentice, which is not a card you would expect.
No, not at all. I'm expecting a spell bomb or something like that, or some type of engine piece, or even an artifact land.
Yeah, there is a consideration, and I was thinking about it, holding for more information.
Sure.
But
Yeah, because you're tutoring blind here, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to be proactive rather than
But it
reactive.
uses my mana well. I actually think I'm going to get Crucible Worlds into my
Yep.
graveyard, and
Yep.
then I will pass.
Because then you have a sick line of like sacrifice artifact land to bring Crucible, play the artifact land. Like that's very
Yeah,
clean.
it just ensures me against one of your packages as well. Go ahead.
Untap. Draw for the turn. That's a little awkward. Enchantress's presence.
Yeah,
Pass.
classic. Tale as old as
Yeah. But again, this is I think a very strong keep. So I'm getting a land lets me start popping off this turn.
Especially because I'm a deck that can't really interact with enchantments that profitably. Like I have to jump through some hoops or get exactly one card. Untap. Draw. That is not the exactly one card. My mana's kind of awkward, but I'm oddly okay with it. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're like, this is clunky, but fine.
Yeah, it's just like I get to do some pretty cool things. Maybe not right now. I mean, I'll do one cool thing right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna play Urza, Lord High Artificer.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's
like that's
yeah. This card's made my life so much easier.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a card instruct.
Yeah.
And
Hit me for
I'm
1.
going to hit you for 1.
Yeah, 18.
And I'm gonna pass.
All right. Now is where we pop off. I'm just gonna draw Sarah Sanctum off the top right now. Okay.
All right. And because I love you, viewers, I'm gonna use a die to represent
How was it already
this.
6?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just kidding. Haha. That was. I'm keeping you honest.
I'm gonna play Sun Petal Grove.
Okay.
Now I need to start thinking about my sequencing. Does it do anything?
Haha. No, it does nothing.
I'm going to cast a Wolf Willow Haven on this forest.
Yeah.
Enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, tap for an additional green. And then 5 mana, sack the Haven, create a 2/2 Wolf, activate only on your turn. I have cast an enchantment. I'm going to draw off the presence. God, can I pop off this turn?
This guy. Here's my list, Serge. Thank you, Ben. Prepare to die.
I mean, you're like, I'm like, hey, I want to play Enchantress. Like, this is the best version of Enchantress I've seen in a while. Dies to it.
I always knew I'd...
Shocked Pikachu face. Like, so I drew the Candelabra.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
The Candelabra of Thanos has entered. So I'm going to, and obviously the templating of this is weird. It says X, untap, X lands. It's an old mono artifact though.
Yeah.
So I actually have to tap it to use its ability. So I can't just pop off super here. This is really good with lands that tap for more than 1 mana. Haha.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So I'm going to float green, green, pay X, untap 2 lands. I now have 4 mana. How much are you going to hit me for next turn?
A truckload.
Is it going to be 18 or more?
Unlikely.
Okay. I'm going to finale for 2. Search your library and/or graveyard for a creature card with a converted mana cost X or less and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. If X is more, it's fine. Not worried about that. I'm going to go get your friend and mine, the Argothian Enchantress.
Okay.
Now, the text is covered, but this has Shroud.
Yeah.
This is Shroud, and this is the OG. Is this the original Enchantress?
It is.
Yeah.
Two Enchantresses, huh? Well, crap.
I mean,
Okay.
I am staring down, what was that, a turn 3 Construct?
Yeah. And this hand was still slow. Maybe I should have done this differently. Your deck's so weird to play against, especially when Grixis doesn't have good ways, like
Go to you.
very good ways of dealing with enchantments.
Yeah.
I have one way, and I will cast it, but it's kind of tough. It's hard out here for a Grixis player sometimes. Oh, never mind. Maybe it got a little bit easier.
I'm still scared, right?
Yeah.
I'm not coasting. I'm not in easy mode suddenly.
I got a cool one for you. I'm going to play Oni Cult Anvil.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever one or more artifacts I control leave the battlefield, I make a 1/1 artifact creature token. But this ability can only trigger once each turn. And I can tap and sack an artifact. Sorry, there's more text. It's from 2022. I can tap and sack an artifact to have it deal 1 damage to each opponent, and I gain 1 life. I'm not actually going to tap it. I will play a Badlands as my land for the turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to tap. Well, I will tap it. I lied.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
tap it to Urza. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, using black and a red to play Chaos Defiler. So this is my favorite card in the deck.
Yeah.
It's 3 black and a red for a 5/4 artifact creature demon construct with trample. And when it ETBs or dies, for each opponent, I choose
Doesn't target.
a non-land permanent.
I chose the one Enchantress in my deck that has Shroud, and you have the answer. Well, you can destroy my enchantment.
Yes.
Or my Enchantress.
Yes. And it's so weird. In 1v1, it says, I want to kill this, and it dies. As long as it's not a land.
And that is the target?
That is going to be the target. So I will be able to deal with this later by, because this is
You can
on
loop
ETB
it. Yeah.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4,
7.
5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
I would like to go to combat.
I will not be blocking.
All right. I'm going to attack you for 9.
Ooh, that's about half my life total.
Go ahead.
All right. My double Enchantress is offline.
And that's kind of the one issue with Enchantress, like a core issue with Enchantress, is that the way you beat it in 2023 is basically the same way that you would try to beat it in 2013.
Yeah.
It's just,
Kill Enchantresses and apply pressure.
yeah.
Right.
Turn off your draw engine. Because your individual cards are not
Yeah.
great.
All right. This is going to help me a little bit. Elephant Grass. Another weirdo old card.
Yep.
Black creatures can't attack. Non-black creatures cannot attack you unless its controller pays 2 for each attacking creature. Cumulative upkeep 1.
Yeah.
Draw trigger.
Yeah.
Hello again, old friend. I'm going to cast Zernorb.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to add 3 green, 1 white. I'm going to spend green to untap 2 lands.
Okay.
I'm going to add green, and I'm going to cast Sylvan Library.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's tapped.
Yeah.
Draw trigger.
Yeah.
Green, white. I'm going to cast Druid Class.
Yeah.
Draw trigger. Druid class says, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, gain a life, and then I can level it up for 2 and a green. You may play an additional land on each of your turns, kind of redundant with Fast Bond. 5 mana, when it becomes level 3, target land you control becomes a creature with haste, and this creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. It's still a land.
Yeah.
I might still be dead here.
We can only hope. I mean, Zern Orb will probably save you quite a bit.
Yeah. Combination of Zern Orb and Elephant Grass makes it close, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Because, like, this is Oni plus Construct is scary.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast Expedition Map. I've got an extra mana floating. I don't think there's anything I can do with it. So I'm going to pass.
Draw. Aether Spellbomb.
Yeah. And that's specifically only creatures.
Only
Yeah,
creatures.
okay.
But it's effectively free with Urza, because
Yeah.
it doesn't need to tap for its abilities. I'm going to tap 2 and crack my Expedition Map.
Yep.
So an artifact left play, so I make a 1/1 artifact construct token.
Yes.
So it replaces this count. I am going to grab Academy Ruins.
Oh. Ben tried to do the called shot, chose the wrong academy.
Oh, sorry. The old academy. Yeah, there we go. Well, the new academy. Well, the old academy. I'm going to play Academy Ruins.
Yeah. There are some lines I'm starting to see on your side that are making me increasingly scared.
Yes. I'm going to tap Oni Called Anvil
Yeah.
to sacrifice Chaos Defiler to
worried.
its ability.
Yep.
This ability is going to trigger.
It's on ETB and exit?
Yeah. I'm going to choose Argothian Enchantress. And then you lose 1 and I gain 1.
Yeah. So I go to 8, you're at 20. Yeah. Apologies.
Yeah, after you.
Please.
Please,
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would like to go to combat.
Yeah, please pay 2.
I'm going to attack you for
Elephant Grass.
9. I'm going to attack you for this. Actually, I should force you to Zern Orb. So I'm going to attack you with these. I'm going to pay 2. So I'm going to pay 4 to attack you with these 2.
Sorry.
I tapped the construct too.
There we go. Oh, I was like, you're attacking me with 3 creatures. I didn't understand that. Okay, so that's exactly 8.
That's exactly 8.
Rude. I will sack Sun Petal Grove
Sure.
to go up to 10. And then I will take 8 and go down to 2.
And I'm going to pass the turn.
All right, game. All right, deck. So I have the option here. I can Expedition Map for a land first and grab Sarah Sanctum and then Sylvan Library. Or I can see what the 3 cards are to get more information. I don't have enough life to pay anything right now.
You do have a cumulative upkeep trigger as well. In your upkeep. I think I already said that. That was redundant upkeep, but you know what I mean.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I can't afford to pay that. I think I let that die. So yeah, we're in my upkeep. Before I move to draw step for Sylvan Library, I'm going to let this die.
Yeah.
And now I need to ask myself if I want to tutor right now or not. More information is good. I don't have an Enchantress anymore, so this information's less valuable than when I sell the Enchantress because I could set up like draw order and cantrips like that. So I'm actually going to crack this right now.
Sure.
Do the shuffle first. I'm going to get a Sarah Sanctum. These are my top 3 draws. I'm glad I shuffled. land.
Hey, okay.
Oh, God, I'm so good at this game. Sometimes I know a lot of the viewers at home watch me play and think to themselves, how could I be as good as Serge?
I gotta stop being mean to him in the intro because now I can't say stuff at this point. I'm like, I was kind of a jerk in the beginning, and
That's why I'm slowly sipping coffee off microphone.
yeah.
This is a really close one.
Yes. All right. This is in my hand.
Yeah.
Sylvan Library.
What kind of is
3 lands again.
Oh yeah.
One of them is a good one, though. All right. So I can't even pay extra life to get rid of this junk. I can't even draw through stuff. Am I dead? Wait, 3 lands on top. I think I might just be dead here. Can I play lands off the top with this? No, it's a creature. Play additional lands.
Yeah, this card really only serves the purpose of it goes infinite with Fast Bond. It's an enchantment that does so. And if you have a bajillion mana and a bajillion lands in play, then you can kill them with this activated ability, or the level 3 class ability.
Well, I have a turn.
Cute. He thinks he has a turn.
What, you think I don't have a turn? Glacial Chasm.
Okay.
I have to sacrifice a land when this comes into play. I'm
Yeah.
going to sacrifice the... Is there a way I do that? No, I just sacrifice this. I'm like, there's maybe some sequencing where I play some stuff in the other order. So Glacial Chasm says, when it comes into play, sacrifice a land. You cannot attack. All damage that would be dealt to you is reduced by 0. I'm going to play my second land for the turn. Fast Bond is going to try and deal 1 damage to me. Glacial Chasm is going to block it. I have no Enchantresses.
Yeah.
Can this hit lands?
No. No.
Sorry. No.
The Chaos Defiler? No.
You can't just loop it over and over. I think I'm still just dead here.
Well, I can loop with Academy Ruins, but not with my Engineer.
Yeah, because you, next turn... I've got 2 lands on top.
I do believe you're dead.
I'm
If
just-
you want to show me the card in your hand, I'll tell you how
It's
you're
Solemnity. I'm just dead.
yes. So what
Yeah.
I'm going to do here is I'm going to activate my Goblin Engineer, sacrificing probably this Vault of Whispers to get back my Expedition map.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to crack my map to find my copy of Wasteland, and I'm going
Right.
to Wasteland.
Yeah.
Glacial Chasm.
Also, like, the turns I'm buying myself when I have land on top
Yes.
aren't... Yeah, like, I'm not even buying myself a turn for anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Game 3.
3.
You do have an answer to my Argothian Enchantress.
Chaos Defiler is so good.
Yeah.
It just does everything.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I I think I like the Grixis version of this best. Although there's probably a Jeskai version that just splashes for Chaos Defiler. It's that good.
I mean, if you're a deck that's trying to loop any artifact over and over, the one that just, like, double vindicates seems kind of good.
Yep, it's not bad.
That had so much pop-off potential.
Yeah.
I can't believe I had 3 lands on top of Sylvan Library and then shuffled and had 3 lands on top of Sylvan Library. But then again, without an Enchantress there, this deck is so much slower.
Yeah.
Like, it just...
Again, it struggles
Night
with
and
the
day.
same issues. But the plus side is that decks can deal with a lot of stuff, but they still don't deal with enchantments very well. And
Yeah.
they certainly don't deal with Shroud creatures now that a lot of decks have cut their sweepers and their like Anger of the Gods style cards, right? It's
Council's
just,
Judgment as well.
yeah, just like those cards don't see as much play or any play anymore. And so Argothian is kind of just like a lock. You could get hit by like a
Random
deluge
edict or something.
Yeah.
Black is playing a non-zero amount of ETB edict creatures.
That's true.
So, like, and this deck is so creature light that sometimes you're very weak to that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, decks still have to kill Merit Lodge, right?
Yes. You got to be careful in Highlander about absolute isms.
Yes.
Discord members. Yeah, because, like, you can... And we talk about this on Earth 100, too. Every time we're like, don't think this card's good, but I certainly will die to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Where it's like, yeah, because, you know, people just play the cards that they want. People have this tech. People just don't update decks as often because they're like, well, I keep winning, so why do I need to do this?
I will be sending this hand back.
My baby. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
I'll keep. This one could potentially run out of gas, but
You were talking to the gas deck over here. Like, very, you know, like, what kind of gas are you out of? Well, I need both mana and card draw because everything in my deck is bad. Right? Like,
but you churn once you get going. I mean, it's
Yes.
just
Yeah.
it's nothing.
what do you think snowballs harder, Enchantress or Elf Ball?
Probably Enchantress. I mean, if we're talking about like the nut draw,
Yeah.
Enchantress can kill you on turn 1. Technically, it's unlikely, but
Keep. On the play.
yes.
Good luck, friend.
Good luck.
Prismatic Vista. 19 Basic Forest. Utopia Sprawl, naming white.
Okay.
Pass. Sorry. Can I make that green instead?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, apologies.
18. Duress.
Non-creature?
Non-creature, non-land.
Non-creature, because of course I got my girl.
Uh-huh. That stuff.
2 enchantments and a Krakus. The enchantments are Miri's Guile and Abundant Growth. If that was Inquisition, I'm very sad.
Yeah.
I'm like, still not great because I'm a multi-6, but it's neat. You're looking at the Abundant Growth because like, man, that draws 2.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Miri's Guile. And I'm a little upset that that's a sentence I'm saying in 2023.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
There's the Krakus.
There it is.
I'm going to float green, green, white. Cast the Argothian Enchantress.
Yep.
And now I got this Abundant Growth. And I don't know if I'm supposed to target... I think it's fine if I put it on the forest, actually. This doesn't accelerate me. But this is... You have Wasteland.
It still works with the ability.
Yeah.
Like you
So this
can-
taps for any color and produces a green in addition.
Yeah.
So I think it's right to be over here. Cast trigger, draw a card. ETB trigger, draw a card.
Ben's just saying that because he's got a strip in hand.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there. Been there. Feels bad. Go.
Had to be Argothian Enchantress.
You're ways off from 5 mana, so
Vault Whispers.
yeah.
Chromox.
Exiling.
Printing Dreadball. Lotus Petal.
Pass.
Who's away off of 5 mana? No. I'm going to 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to cast Luris, the Dream Den. I'm going to replay my Lotus Petal. I'm going to announce my intention of casting the spell Thoughtcast. The game is going to ask me to pay 2 mana, given
Oh,
the fact that I have
interesting.
affinity for artifacts.
Yeah.
Then it's going to ask me, how do I want to pay that 2 mana?
Yeah.
I'm going to pay that 2 mana
Sick.
with my Lotus Petal.
Sick.
Draw 2. And then I'm going to pass. Obviously, not great in the face of Krakus.
You have any other removal spells?
No.
Green, white, Sithis. Cast trigger.
This guy.
Misty. Pass.
Untap. Drop. Main phase.
Yeah.
Cast Lotus Petal.
Yep.
Cast Pithing Needle. Activated abilities of the named card cannot be played unless they're mana abilities.
I'll bounce your Lyris.
Okie dokie.
So for people wondering why I didn't do that and let him get the Lotus Petal for free, there's a chance that I use it to protect my Sithis from removal spells. So you wait for as much information as possible to see if you can get some value out of it.
I'm going to name Caracas.
Yeah.
Crack. Luris.
Yeah.
I'm going to replay this Lotus Petal. I'm going to play a Mistvault Bridge.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass.
I'll fetch this end of turn. I'm probably also, like, there's maybe a weird world and you try and get me with a Misty, but that seems bad.
Yeah.
But I think maybe there's a world in which I was also supposed to crack there, but I think if you name that and not my Caracas, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever.
No, that's when you try to get weirdo internet points.
Yeah. I can shut off his fetch land. It's like a wasteland.
Pog, look.
Temple Garden.
Yeah.
Some very expensive legendary planes I have over here.
Yeah.
Green, white. I'm going to cast Druid class. Cast trigger. Cast trigger.
Yeah.
I mean, technically. My upkeep.
Your upkeep.
Yeah.
He's got Drop of Honey or Porphyry nodes. In
Yeah. 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 So this card is arguably really awkward since I've got Argothian Enchantress online. Yeah, Porphyry nodes. So P-O-R, I don't know how to spell this one. At the beginning of your upkeep, destroy target creature. I'm not actually casting this. We're just going to talk about the known information now. With the least power, it can't be your generator. If two or more creatures are tied, you choose one of them. When there are no creatures in play, sacrifice it. So there's this awkward point in the game where this is really good against low-to-ground aggressive decks to help stabilize and to either force them to massively overcommit to the board or to have them to buy yourself more time. I'm kind of ahead because I have two Enchantresses, but this also represents two cards.
Yeah.
And so I have a turn to untap with it, which is a little bit clunky, a little bit awkward. The question is, like, how aggressively do I want to try and cantrip enchantments to get going? I don't think I'm at this point right now because I'm not getting any pressure, but my
It's an awkward
My
one.
upkeep.
It's one of those cards where it's absurd in spots where you haven't developed these and your opponent's trying to build to the board.
Yeah.
And it's just a 1 mana draw two later in the game when you're going off.
Yeah.
Like here in the mid game, it can be a bit difficult where you're like, okay, I have Enchantresses, I'm doing things, but I'm not doing things, you know?
I'm going to play Hall of Heliod's Generosity.
The symbol of his church.
I'm going to gain a life off of Druid class. I have access to 3 mana, and I think... Do I just pass here? This is so hard.
Yes. Pass. You can level up Druid class.
I mean, that's not nothing.
Play an additional land.
So my question is, do I pass and just put Miri's Guile on top? Because that's a really nice free draw 2 next turn instead of a random one. Or do I play a bad enchantment in my hand to draw 2 right now? I'm going to play a bad enchantment in my hand to draw 2 right now. I'm going to cast Squirrel Nest.
Yeah.
Draw, gain a life. I'm going to put it on this Temple Garden.
Oh, not to backseat Enchantress you.
So,
May I make a recommendation?
put it on.
So, Squirrel Nest combos in this deck with Earthcraft.
Yes.
Earthcraft specifically says untap a basic land.
Oh, I haven't read Earthcraft in a very long time. All right, well, I'll just keep loading up this really awkward forest then.
Spoiler alert, I don't have Strip.
Yeah,
And
well, I know your points. Yeah.
Serge Serge knows my points, but if this was not like an actual tournament match, you could probably discern that I'm not on Strip by the nature of my point spread.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thank you for that. It's been a while since I read Earthcraft.
Yeah, it's...
That's a thank you. All right, go to you.
I'm going to strip your...
This guy.
Oh, good.
Oh, man.
Get this Dreadbore over here. Can I say one of my pet peeves? Cards that are exiled under stuff like Chrome Mox and having them under the Chrome Mox. I understand, and for the sake of the camera, it's easier to do, but God, I hate it. I think I might do this a little differently. Red, this, and a blue off Lotus Petal. I'm going to cast Dak Faden, the greatest thief in the multiverse.
Checking my board for artifacts.
This is not the matchup for this card.
I can take my candle.
That
That feels really good when you get your academies online,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm going to loot.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen you play Dak a lot lately. You're high on Dak again?
I mean, it's in an awkward spot where, like, in decks like this, I like it.
Yeah.
Because I respect artifacts. And, but at the same time, I only respect artifacts when players like myself play them. So, I mean, I'm going to discard these.
Yeah.
That was even too much for me. I'm going to play a Baleful Strix.
Nice.
Draw.
Yeah.
A lot of lands. I'm going to play this Lotus Petal out from my graveyard.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a Wooded Foothills as my land for the turn, and I'm going to attack you with Lurrus.
18, you go up to 21.
Yep.
All right.
Go ahead.
Untap. Draw for the turn. Right. Hall of Heroes generosity. That's fine. My draws were good enough that I don't care about it right now.
My draws were good enough. I shouldn't care.
Take it away.
Get these peasants out of here.
For all it could be a waste.
Enchantress's Presence.
Yeah.
Draw, gain a life. This is a really weird question. Does cumulative upkeep involve putting counters on permanents?
It does.
It does?
It involves putting age counters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Glacial Chasm and Solemnity is a combo?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Sure is. Or is.
I drew a Glacial Chasm. I was just like, wait a second, this is a mechanic I don't remember. Mox Pearl. Land for the turn, Glacial Chasm. Sacrificing Hall of Heliod's Generosity.
Symbol of his church.
Symbol of his church. 3 mana, I'm going to cast Solemnity.
Okay.
So Glacial Chasm, when it comes into play, sacrifice a land. You cannot take damage. All damage dealt to you is reduced to 0. Solemnity, players can't gain counters. Counters can't be put on artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or lands. Draw, draw, draw.
I'm going to respond.
To casting it, to the draw triggers?
Whenever. I'm just saving time finding
Okay.
Steam vents.
Okay.
And you have how many cards in hand?
7.
Okay. This is fine. This is fine.
Put the relevant stuff up front here.
Yeah.
Go.
So this is an awkward spot where I think even if I get Chaos Defiler, it's not great because I need to start looping it. I'm really behind. I think I need to combo you. I need to try and infinite you,
Yeah.
which I can do, but it takes... It's more just like, oh, hey, I got these 3 cards in play at the same time, of which I have 0 currently in play. Draw. And I drew a land, so that's not a great start. But let's find off deck, Phaeton. Hopefully something. That's...
You got the Dak, Luris, like you got options.
I got stuff.
You got tools.
I did draw some reasonable cards.
Okay.
But you have 7 cards.
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna
Pitch
discard
land, oof.
land. Crack. Chaos Defiler.
Let's go.
I'm gonna kill that.
All right, start with the Enchantress's presence. I like it.
I'm gonna replay my Lotus Petal off of Luris.
Yes.
And I'm going to crack, and I'm going to channel my Twin Shot Sniper to deal 2 damage to your Sithis.
So how does that work?
It's a channel ability.
Yeah.
I can pay 1 in red, which I have done, to discard it from my hand and shock something.
Sick. All right.
And then it's also just a 2/3 reach artifact creature that does the same thing on ETB.
Okay.
Combat.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Untap. Upkeep. Cumulative upkeep. Put a counter on, pay that many life. I can't put a counter on it because of Solemnity. Draw for the turn. Forest.
Yeah.
Fast bond.
Yep.
Draw a card.
Yeah.
Forest.
Gain 1.
Gain a life. So fast bond would deal the damage to me. The damage is prevented. I still gain the life from Druid class, so I gain a life. 3 mana. Ramanap Excavator.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play 3 lands from my graveyard.
Yeah.
Gain 3 life. So fetch land, Hall of Heliod's Generosity. I'm going to play a Sun Petal Grove, gain another life. And then every time I fetch, I'm going to lose a life. Every time a land comes into play, I'm going to gain a life.
So you're neutral on fetch.
So I'm neutral on fetches. So I'm going to do this until I remove all the basics
Yeah.
from my deck. So I'm just going to do that just to sort of thin things really quickly here.
Yeah. Maybe he'll whiff. Maybe he'll whiff.
And then just really quickly checking off of the Misty to see if I can...
Grab your Savannah.
So I have the Rav Duel in play. I have yet to play the Savannah.
Did you tutor that Sun Petal Grove, or was that in play? The one that's on top of your pile.
Oh, no, these are... that was in play already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. That was one I'd played earlier. I was just
Right.
moving it over to see what lands I'd already played.
Yeah.
Apologies. There's the Savannah. And I believe that is every deck I can find off these fetch lands. And just for clarity's sake, I'll end it with, like, there's a chance that maybe I fetch at some point and it's kind of awkward, but that, you know, it is what it is.
kind of want you to bamboozle everybody and say, tap 4 Charbelcher.
Woo! All right, so I got a bunch of fetches and a Savannah there. We have the Hall of Heliod's Generosity. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pay 2, pardon me, and tap Hall of Heliod's Generosity to put Sithis on top. She's also an enchantment, inexplicably. I'm going to cast Unbridled Growth on this forest. Cast trigger, draw a card.
Yep.
2 mana. I'm going to cast Sithis.
Yeah.
I don't have a Wasteland or Strip Mine. I'm just trying to see if I have a way to sacrifice my Hall of Heliod's Generosity. Currently don't. I'll draw a card. There we go. Wasteland.
Okay.
Gain a life.
So now you can add infinite mana
Yes.
to your mana pool.
Yes, I can. I have infinite mana here. Also, I'll start by wastelanding your whole board. So,
Indestructible.
oh, pardon me. So 1, 2, 3. I'll gain 3 life. I will wasteland my own Hall of Heliod's Generosity. So that should technically get me back to 30 when I play this again.
Yeah.
Those 2 times. So
You have represented a loop.
I now have infinite life and infinite mana.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll just untap all my lands with
And infinite draws.
and infinite draws. Right, because I can just play Unbridled Growth, put it back on top, draw it, cast it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do that.
GM, I do that.
All right, so for the purpose of people watching at home, just to show the loops, I can tap for a green, I can destroy it with Wasteland, I can replay it.
Well, not the forest.
Sorry, but yes, I can do that. Bad example.
Yeah.
I can do that with my Savannah,
Yeah,
for example. Do that over and over. With Hall of Heliod's Generosity and infinite mana, I can basically put this back on top of my deck. I need something to do it the first time.
Yeah, you need another enchantment. This draws a card when you sack it as well.
Yeah. So I think we're neutral right now, and all that we've represented, because I'm not at infinite draws yet. I'm at infinite life and infinite mana. I haven't shown a loop.
No. You need a single enchantment in your hand to loop.
I mean, I have 3. So this is probably the point where I actually cast Porphyry Nodes. So let's represent this. All right, Hall of Heliod's Generosity, Unbridled Growth goes on top. I'm going to cast Porphyry Nodes for the infinite mana that we have here. I'm going to draw 2. Draw 1, draw the next card. Porphyry Nodes is there. I'm going to cast Unbridled Growth. I have a draw trigger. In response to the draw trigger, I have to like replay the Hall of Heliod's Generosity. Sorry. So we'll put this back. Hall of Heliod's Generosity is now untapped. I cast Unbridled Growth. I have draw trigger.
Yeah.
In response, I sacrifice this to draw a card, right?
No.
No?
No, because these are cast triggers. That's sacrifice.
Right. Trying to think of how I loop that over and over. I don't even know if I'm that worried about it. So I cast this, I draw 2.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm fine to brute force it. Can you show me the loop, just out of curiosity? Because I don't see the loop currently. And I can brute force this, but I don't see it being deterministic right now to draw my whole deck. I think I'm very close. I can also just, like, get Enchantress's presence back on top.
I mean, it's not something that you could tell a computer to take these actions and get it, but the amount of you are drawing 2 cards a turn and get to like every other instance of that, you get to put this on top to let you draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
So you get to go 3 cards, 2 cards, 3 cards, 2 cards in a deck where you have gone through basically all of your lands.
Yeah.
And
So my live hits are pretty high.
yeah. Like this is a way, if this was a tournament match and we weren't in the position to describe in grueling
yeah,
detail
yeah, yeah.
as to what's going on because somebody might have this on their second monitor.
Yep.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. This is first monitor content, please.
Absolutely. This is where I'd go like, yeah, I'm dead here.
Yeah, yeah.
And concede.
I'll
But-
show you the win.
Sure.
So I would put Hall of Heliod's Generosity is going to put Enlightened Tutor on top.
Or Enchantress.
Enchantress's Presence on top. I'm sorry. I'll bring it back. I'm going to cast Sterling Grove.
Yeah.
That's going to draw this and another card. I'm going to cast Enchantress's Presence to draw 2 more cards. I'm going to sacrifice Sterling Grove to get Earthcraft.
Yeah. Then you could just make infinite squirrels.
Yeah, so I've got Earthcraft on top.
Yeah.
And cast Sylvan Library, draw 3 cards. Cast Earthcraft on a basic forest.
Draw 3 cards.
Draw 3 cards. I guess the problem here.
Earthcraft doesn't enchant a land. It's the squirrel nest that has to be on the base.
Oh! So Earthcraft says, tap an untapped creature you control, untap target basic land. Can you tell it's been a while?
Yeah. It's all right. You're doing fine, babe.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so the only parts that really matter are this. Technically, I pass,
Sure.
and then, because I can't kill you this turn,
Draw with deck hidden.
I'm supposed to go to cleanup as well.
I will discard these 2 cards and then concede.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
infinite squirrels.
Yes.
On my upkeep, I destroy my Glacial Chasm.
Yes.
And then I swing for 1,000,000.
Yeah.
This is exactly how I remember Enchantress being too. Being like, I've lost the thread of what's happening right now.
There is another way. This version in particular, when you're at that spot,
Yeah.
you can combo with Meticulous Excavation,
Yep.
which is a new card from Brothers War that lets you to return a permanent. So you get infinite draw triggers off that, but also with something like Journey to Nowhere or Oblivion Ring, you just get
Yeah.
on my board and then can kill me with a Druid class token. Destiny Spinner does it. Just, it's a lot of stuff that isn't as, I mean, the example I used of like, you can't be like Time Vault plus Voltaic Key equal dead.
Yeah. Because that loop was, I mean, I'd like to demonstrate that I have some mastery over this deck and over this archetype.
Yeah.
But when you get to that sort of point in any archetype like this, lands feels like a very similar way.
Yeah.
When you're so far ahead, you actually get overwhelmed. You're like, okay, what do I even do now?
Also-
like the win is here, but what's the cleanest win?
Yeah.
What's the best way to not like BM your opponent?
Also, when people hear loop, when non-combo players hear loop, what they hear is like an ephemerate line or Time Vault Voltaic Key. Like very
Sure.
straightforward, just like this does this and that does that. But in that case, that's a loop because you're not going to brick.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
Yeah.
Statistically, it might even be impossible for you to brick.
Especially after land thinning.
Yeah, because
Right.
you got rid of
10 cards.
10 lands, and you had that in play. You would need to have all of the lands in your deck basically stacked on top.
Yeah.
Like in a row.
Yeah, with 3 enchantments as gas.
Right.
And Hall of Heliod's Generosity kind of fueling stuff as well.
Yeah, so even then you have enough draw. If you have 3 enchantments in hand plus Enchantress's Presence and the Unbridled Growth, even if all the lands were on top of your deck, followed by like Mox, and,
creature, whatever. Yeah.
Crucible or whatever, like you're still fine. You're still fine. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the games, friend.
Oh, thank you for the games. And thank you, viewer, for watching said games. We're here. We're professional. How you doing? How you been?
Why did we start so early in the morning?
I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is that this would not be possible without the support that we receive over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. It's because of all of you. There's all of this. And also, if you like all of this, look in the description below. Oh, what's there? Why? It's our deck lists and information on the format and other stuff that we do around here. Thank you, Serge, for joining me today.
Been a pleasure, friend.
Thank you, Ben, for teching it up.
Oh, I'll always tech it up.
Great. Good way to end it. Okay, bye. Have a good one.